The main thing was people were saying, okay, Kanye said that slavery was a choice. Now, when he said slavery was a choice, some of you are taking it as if he's saying that, okay, the oppressor came into the continent of Africa and spoke with our ancestors and asked them whether they wanted to go into chattel slavery, bondage at that, or whether they wanted to remain within the continent of Africa, and in some cases as prisoners of war or indentured servitude, which is different from chattel slavery. Indentured servitude and chattel slavery is not the same thing. And and it's like he's like, you guys are taking it like our ancestors were like, you know what? We don't want to be here in the continent of Africa no more, or within this continent. We want to go to the new world with you as your slaves to go through chattel slavery. That's not what he was saying. What he is saying is that when you allow yourself to be in a condition for hundreds of years, which means that means generations have passed. That means you're making a conscious decision to remain in that position. That's what he is saying. Think about this. What he is saying is this. At some point in time, you mean to tell me if you don't like being beat with those whips and shit like that and having to go out there in the fields and shit, how come it didn't come to your mind that you could overtake and overthrow your oppressor? Just like in current times, what does it take for you motherfuckers to realize that we can overthrow the government if we choose to? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And that's what people who are studied like me have seen. I've come with two solutions for liberation. I came with one dealing with the HBCUs, which is the historically black colleges and or universities in the United States of America for those who don't want to leave the United States of America. And then I created another liberation plan called The Deed, which is for people who want to completely separate from our enemy in this country. Now, there is no better plans than the ones I gave you. None. And if there is one, I would love for somebody to present it. There aren't any. I have the best plan that's out there. My plan didn't call for you to bring forth or no drop your religion. It didn't call for violence. It didn't do any of that. And we can have this done in 10 years and be out in our own zone in 10 years from now. Which means people like Farrakhan may get to witness it. But you guys don't want that because you like it when nobody has a plan to liberate your ass, because then you have the excuse that we don't have a plan. And you gotta look how stupid you sound when you're talking to people and they're talking about liberation and you come out of your mouth and say, we don't have a plan. Because if you ever say that to me, I'm gonna say, well, what is your fucking plan? And I'm gonna put you on blast right there. I don't give a damn if we're in the classroom setting where we at. What is your fucking plan? And see, it's gonna leave you looking stupid like it's left a whole lot of motherfuckers, especially people who come over to my page in the comment section. They come over talking, I hit them with that comment. What is your plan, a solution for liberation? And they don't have nothing else to say because all they're doing online is starting up shit, and they're not really doing anything to help the people who are trying to help liberate the peoples, to help liberate the people. They're not doing any of that. What they're doing is coming around causing confusion, just like with this Kanye shit. Think about it. Kanye West has been quiet for a long time, and all of a sudden he comes out and says that shit, and everybody's in an uproar and ready to tear the motherfucker's head off, but you're not thinking about what he's saying. You're tough, but you're not smart. That's the slogan with our people. You're tough, but you're not smart. And you're only tough when it comes to certain situations, when it comes to dealing with people from your own race. Because like everybody said, when that white man come down to your area and he come and tell you, hey, look, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. I'm going to put these cuffs on you. You make the choice to turn around and cuff up. That's the choice you made. But even if you're guilty, you could just say, you know what? I ain't doing that. That's another choice you can make. You see what I'm saying? So for all you people who are so against what maybe Hassan Poppy Campbell has said, Sarnetta and Imam Bashir, you need to go back and you really need to get this shit together. Because for one, everybody is sitting up here talking, but none of you are coming up with any solutions to liberate us. Nothing. And until you come with a fucking solution, you don't have nothing to say when it comes down to our issues. Because if you have a problem, you figure out how to get out the problem. Just like when you live in somebody's household and you don't like their fucking rules, what do? You start making the arrangements to get out of that person's house. But yet you're in the cracker's house and you're not making any arrangements to leave, and you say you don't like living here. See what I'm saying? Man, people like myself, Imam Bashir, and even Sarnetta, and probably Hassan Poppy Campbell looking at people like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like I said, if Kanye would have said it was a choice because the oppressor came into the continent of Africa and asked our people whether they wanted to go into bondage or slavery, and they chose to say, yes, that's what we want, rather than freedom or being indentured servants, which is different from chattel slavery, which means you can earn your way out of that servitude. Chattel slavery, we've never worked our way out of slavery. We've worked our way out of chattel, but not slavery. It's still here. It's still here. You see modern day slavery. You can look at the prisons. Same shit as the slave ships. When to get up, when to eat, when to piss. You see the same fucking shit going on. People in chains, handcuffs. It's the same thing. But we have to make the conscious decision to say, you know, we're not having it. Think about it as a collective. If we would all say, you know what, next week, or if we had when Trayvon Martin was killed, if we would have said, you know what, we're not going to work for the remainder of the month. You know how much damage we would have done to this economy? You think they wouldn't have been listening? If we would have just said, we're not going to fucking work. Not just saying 10,000 of us are not going to work, or the conscious community, because that's not enough to put a dent in these motherfuckers' pocket. If as a collective we said we're not going to work, because think about this. We are the labor workers. We're at the bottom, the manual laborers. The people who are at the top are our oppressors, the Caucasian, the cracker, the enemy. The people who are at the top, the CEOs, the board of trustee people, they don't get their hands dirty. They don't work. So the people at the bottom, like ourselves, and including some Caucasian people and Hispanic people as well, if we were to not go to work, who's going to flip those burgers? Who's going to cut the grass? Who's going to do the manual labor? Because they're not going to do it. They will lose money, and I guarantee you they'll start fucking listening. See, there are things we can do without even lifting a finger to throw a punch at these people so as we can show them that we ain't fucking playing. And if you don't believe me, go back to my liberation blogs. 2 of them, the video blogs, I'm sorry. The D, and then it's the one with the HBCUs. I didn't ask for you to throw a fucking punch. I didn't say bring your religion or drop your religion. That's the reason why people who read them know those will work within the next 10 years. That we can have those done in 10 years. Be in that shit in 10 years from now. But y'all don't want to do that because you like having an excuse to say this is the reason why I'm still in servitude or I'm in bondage, because we don't have a solution when there are solutions out there. And if you don't think there's one out there, get off your lazy ass and you go create one. You like the excuse. That's the bottom line. Our people love the fucking excuse on why they can't get up and get out and get something on their own without the enemy being a part of it. You like the excuse. You love the excuse because it makes you feel good in knowing that I don't have to fight the very person that you say you hate, but deep down you really love and respect. That's why you don't want to fucking leave. You love this country. You love capitalism where the corny nigga like you can go off, or the corny person like you who grew up, always picked on, didn't have no friends, this, that, and third. Now you can use your money as you get older to pay for those things and have women come around because you have the materials. But you know, in a society that we're trying to create, it's not going to be capitalistic, meaning that each individual has the opportunity to soar way above the next one. It's more of a socialistic type of society. So then it's back to what do you have to offer within you, not materialistically what do you have to offer. See, that's the problem with our people, man. We love the fucking excuse. We don't want to really get out and clean up. We want a few people to do it for us, and then so we can have our hand out and say, where's mine? Where's mine? And let me just go ahead and tell you people why I know we as a people don't want it, and we don't want to get this shit as a collective. You saw those plans I gave you, the solution, the D blog, video blog, and then the other one with the HBCUs. Now, this is what I want you to fucking do. I want you to go to your search engine and type in National Defense Authorization Act of 2012, NDAA 2012. Or better yet, not that, not the National Defense Authorization Act. The economic stimulus plan that was handed out by George Bush during his second term. The economic stimulus plan. I want you to check that out. There were so many hundreds of dollars given to each working adult, and so many hundreds, I want to say it was $300 per child for the working adult. Think about it. At that particular point in time, look at how much money we were receiving. We could have put together a national treasury and had the money to get out of our situation, even if we were going to do and go off the economic blueprint plan that was given by the Nation of Islam. We had the money. But did you hear any of our so-called leaders coming out when that economic stimulus check came out and say, hey, look, we now have our monies to put forth for a national treasury. This is monies that you're receiving out the blue that you didn't know was coming. So therefore, you may need the money, but we can put this towards a national treasury. You ain't got to put all of it. If you're getting $600 for yourself, $300 for each child, let's say you had 2 children, that's $1,200. You can put up $300. And that will afford to be able to put up enough for your family and somebody who could not afford to because maybe they're homeless and don't work. And had we have done that with all this, 40-some million of us, or 20 to 40-some million people of us, or so-called African Americans, we could have been out of the situation. But like I said, when we get the opportunity, our leaders don't speak. And then our intellectuals don't come out and say shit. Or they get overshadowed by those who don't want to see the shit happen. But bottom line is this. When it comes to Kanye West, and it comes down to him talking about slavery being a choice, ask yourself, did he say that the oppressor came into the continent of Africa, met with our people, and asked them whether they wanted to go into slavery or bondage? And then they said, yeah, we do. Or is he saying, at the end of the day, if you've been in servitude or if you've been in bondage for so long, in chattel slavery or just slavery in general, in bondage, how much does it take before you realize that you can fight your way out the shit, meaning you have a choice to either stay in the shit or remove yourself from it? You see what I'm saying? Even the Bible will tell you that. You have a choice. You have a choice. You always have a choice. And that's what I'm asking you. Did he say that or did he go with the other side? And if you haven't seen the video, go back and watch it. I don't think that's what he's saying. I don't think Kanye West is that fucking stupid to sit up there and say, oh, our people were in the continent of Africa doing their own thing. And then all of a sudden the white man comes down there and he starts to ask our people whether they wanted to go into slavery. And they said, yeah, and they went. So that was the reason they had a choice. They had the choice because they told them they wanted to go. No, he's saying this. Our people were captured from out of that continent and brought to this new world. And while they were here, generation to generations, somebody could have chose to say we had enough. Just like in today's time. Somebody can stand up, or people can stand up together collectively and say, we had a fucking enough. We don't give a fuck whether you come with your National Guard or your Army or your just military in general or not. We are tired. We are done. Now think about this. I guarantee you, if the shoes were on the other foot, and we were to take white people or Caucasian people and put their ass into slavery, I guarantee you them motherfuckers would rise up against that ass in a heartbeat. They wouldn't give a fuck if they had to fight us with no fucking clothes on. They would fight their way out that shit because they'd be looking like, well, these niggas ain't gonna take us like that without no fucking fight. I'd rather die. That's why, like Hassan said, liberty or death. And I wrote a short story called Liberation or Death that was handed to a professor of mine this semester before I dropped the course. So I don't know if it won the contest or if she included it. I need to find out. But you guys should read it. I tried to find it yesterday, and I saw my confirmation from when I sent it to her, but the damn actual letter wasn't there. I wanted to post it. But again, it's liberty or death. That's what the way Caucasian people have it. Shit, Caucasian people would not let us enslave them without a fight. If we were to take over now and say, look, we going to enslave all you motherfuckers, them white people grab their fucking shotguns and everything, like, yeah, any nigga come through that fucking door is going to be a dead nigga. But us, when they tell us we going to instill martial law, and if you go against the curfews, we come in your house to take you, niggas are going to lay down on the ground and let them motherfuckers come run through the house where it's such and such. Like when you watch on these bounty hunter shows, they running through people's houses. Where the motherfucker tearing your shit up. Think about it. If they would have come to my motherfucking house, you could just say, okay, look, you come this motherfucker, everybody in here is who you looking for, bitch nigga, and we gonna tear your fucking ass up. They wouldn't even come down there. If you in the hood or ghetto, just like how they used to talk about in Oakland on some of them shows, the police used to come down there, had motherfuckers on the roof shooting at them niggas. They did not want to go down there. See, my thing is, you motherfuckers are tough when it needs to be against your own people. But then when it comes to that enemy, you love to lay on your fucking back and let them stick long dick in your ass. What is it going to be? Are you going to fight and take your shit back? And fighting doesn't necessarily mean you got to get physical. Or are you going to allow this man to continue to beat you? And if you do, then Kanye is right. You're making a choice.